Hey everyone, welcome back to Indie Author Jill, where we're reviewing books written by self-published authors. Today's book we're reviewing is Sapphora Shards of Secrecy by Testa. I really liked this book. It was really hard to put down. I kept waiting for just there to be something to not like about the book, and there just wasn't. It was a really fun read. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I couldn't put it down. I think my favorite character is actually not even a person. My favorite character is the animated inanimate object, Incantante. I struggled with his name so many times. But he's a magic talking spell book, and the sass on this book, I absolutely love it. My second favorite character is also an inanimate object that was animated, which was Cairo the Sword. If you're not interested in books that end on cliffhangers, then you might want to avoid this book, but I didn't mind the cliffhanger. It was, as you can see, it's a thick book, and there's it's about a girl named Sapphora who gets sent to the mortal realm, and she's a sorceress and she's a princess, but when she's 12 she gets sent to the mortal realm, and she is stripped of her memory of her home in Avogadro, I think it's pronounced. I had a hard time pronouncing that one too. But when she turns 20, or in the year that she's supposed to be turning 21, her birthday is in December, and it starts off January, the year she's supposed to turn 21. She's suddenly taken back to her home realm and told, hey, by the way, yeah, you're a princess, you're a sorceress. There's a prophecy about how you're supposed to defeat the nefarious pharaoh, but everybody thinks you ran away from your destiny, and so everybody hates you now. So there's that. Good luck with it. And then she finds out that the reason everybody thinks that is because they only heard half the prophecy. They didn't hear the other part that said she would not be able to face the pharaoh until she was 22 or 21. And so she's got to find Incantante to help her defeat the pharaoh, and there's these 7 challenges that she has to go through, and she only gets to the beginning of the 3rd challenge in this book, and that's one of the reasons why I kept going back through it. Wait, there must have been some extra fluff that didn't need to be there, that we could have told the entire story in this book, and there just wasn't anything extra. Maybe we could have taken out the 2 kissing scenes, and that still would have only taken out 1 page of the book. So everything that's in the book is absolutely needed for the story. So there's nothing I would have actually taken out of the book. And the few times that it does have a kind of a respite is kind of needed, because it gives Sapphora a chance to kind of catch her breath before going on to the next thing, and then it's constantly one thing after another for her. As far as the other characters that are actually human, you have a priestess named Masika. I think Masika is definitely working with someone powerful. She's Anubis has at one point the god Anubis comes to help Sapphora, and he helps her out a lot, actually. And at one point he gives her a warning, and I think the warning pertains to Masika myself. That's just my personal thought. Anubis himself, I appreciate that all the gods and goddesses in this book are depicted as being either super hot or super beautiful, because when you think of gods, especially I'm more of a fan of the Greek mythology, and most of the gods and goddesses in Greek mythology are beautiful or hot or really handsome. Like, their beauty is beyond compare. So I like that Indy Testa portrayed all of the Egyptian gods as being either hot or being beautiful. And Anubis is no exception. He's a buff dude, and he's running around, and I kind of feel like he kind of has to be buff because part of his job is he's the god of mummification. And if you're going to be lifting dead bodies and wrapping them around and everything, you probably have to be pretty tough, pretty strong, you know. What I don't like about Anubis is that he resorted to a cliche mortal man's line of, "You're not like other girls." Like, come on, Anubis, do better. You are a god. You can come up with better lines than that. I do think he's being more manipulative than what he lets on. He's obviously very manipulative in the book as far as, hey, I'm going to move things around to make things easier for you. He made sure that she was, when she got sent to one place, that her roommate was, he specifically set up, this is going to be her roommate. I'm going to make sure that this is her roommate because this is a person I know she can trust, that she can get the help she needs to get to where she needs to go. He gives her different powers to be able to teleport wherever she needs to go. But I think he's definitely pulling more strings than what he lets on, and even what he is letting on is a lot, so I think he's moving a lot more in this book than what even the reader sees. When Sapphora goes to a place called Salutum, I'm not going to tell you what Salutum is, but you'll find out if you read the book. But that's where she gets her roommate, Nava. I like Nava. I think she claims to be a person with a past, which, okay, sure, but she seems to be on this road of redemption, of trying to balance out her mortal debt or her spiritual debt or whatever. One of the people in Salutum is kind of an enemy to Sapphora 7. I'm not going to say what Sapphora did to 7. It's hilarious, I think. Incantante thinks it's hilarious, and I agree with him. But what I didn't like is, and it was a minor inconvenience to me, but I think the result should have stayed, because I think that would have been just a fun running gag that could have been played out through the rest of the series of the rest of the Sapphora series. I don't like any of the old hags, except for the warden, and it was hard to keep up with which hag was which, but because they're all just kind of lumped together as being, none of them like Sapphora. But the warden isn't so much a that I don't like Sapphora, it's just I'm doing the best job I can with what I have here, and I have this princess who everyone believes has ran away from her duties, and I don't think I should be responsible for her. She should go somewhere else. Why do I have to deal with her? She does have a cat that passes most of the judgment on the inmates, and I like the cat. Basilius is Sapphora's uncle, and I don't know that I believe he actually hates Sapphora as much as he claims to. I think he believes he hates her, and I think he believes what he says, but I don't think he is... I think the author went out of their way to make him seem evil, and he's really just genuinely concerned about protecting what's left of his family. That's just my opinion, but it does seem like he's painted out to be I could care less about my sister, I could care less about my nieces, I just want them all out of the way so that I can be pharaoh. Enough said. But I don't think that he really cares necessarily about being pharaoh. I think he just would prefer that his sister and his nieces would be more respectful towards his thoughts and his ideas of the advice he's trying to give them. And I think when things start turning around and he realizes that Sapphora is actually doing what she's supposed to be doing, I think he will turn to her side. The people who play, who have stepped in as Mom and Godsister Cleo to Sapphora, I have no clue who they actually might be. I'm not even going to try to guess, other than probably some handmaids or something that were supposed to be serving her and didn't. Sapphora herself. I love Sapphora so much. She is sassy, she is tenacious, she's got all the spunk of the youngest princess. You know, she's got 7 older sisters, and I don't think that this would be a different personality trait for her if she had been raised with her sisters for the last 8 years. I think she still would be spunky and sassy and tenacious, and still like, no, we're just gonna do what needs to be done, and I don't care what anybody else says. There's a lot more about Sapphora than she knows, obviously, because she's had her memory erased. But I think there's more to her than what any other mortal knows. Because by all appearances, she seems to be the daughter of a pharaoh and his wife, and the queen pharaoh. But there's a part where Anubis keeps reminding Sapphora that humans and gods, mortals and gods, cannot be in a relationship, a romantic relationship together. It's forbidden. And my only thought is, since when? Every mythology you have, the gods are impregnating at least one woman, mortal woman, somewhere along the line. The Greek gods did it all the time. But, so I can't imagine the Egyptian gods being any different than that. And the idea that a god has not impregnated a mortal woman, an Egyptian god has not impregnated an Egyptian woman ever, is, I just don't see that as being the case. And I think that this is definitely one of those cases. I don't think that Sapphora is fully mortal. The powers that she has suggest to me that she might be a demigod, that her father was actually one of the Egyptian gods. And what makes me believe this is, one, she's more powerful than her sisters. I don't think she's powerful because of the prophecy. I think the prophecy exists because she's powerful, because of her demigodness. And there's certain things that point this out. So there's a bracelet of sorcery suppression that gets placed on her. And even with this on, she has to struggle. She has to struggle a lot. But she still manages to do it. And obviously that speaks to her power. What bothered me about this is that she gets it taken off by another god, takes it off of her fairly quickly. And I would have liked to see her struggle with that a little bit more, so that she could really prove her power on this. But the other thing is that at one point she's part of this, like I said, there's 7 challenges she has to go through. And each time she starts a challenge, she's locked into that room of that challenge, and she can't get out. And while she's in that challenge, she can't get out of the challenge until the challenge is complete. She can't get out of the room of that challenge until it's completed. And then on top of that, she can't use sorcery while she's in one of these rooms. But at one point she's in a room and she sees her sister in danger, and she's like, okay, forget the challenge, I just need to save my sister. And she uses her sorcery to save her sister, and there are other sorcerers and sorceresses in the room with her. None of them can do their magic, but she can. Yes, she has to fight. Yes, she has to struggle to use it. And it exhausts her. But she does it where nobody else can, in a room that is built and designed by a god. Or actually 2 goddesses. So 2 goddesses have created this room, designed this room, made it to where no mortal sorcerer or sorceress can do sorcery, and she still manages to do it. And that tells me that she's got to be a demigod. And on top of that, once she disregard the earthquake that is my niece behind the camera. But not only does she do this, it exhausts her, like I said. It knocks her out. And she's in the healing room. And when she wakes up, it's been 2 days. And the healers are like, what are you doing up? And she's like, what do you mean, what am I doing up? I woke up. And they're like, no, you did magic in a place where you weren't supposed to do magic. Something like that would kill somebody else, but at the very least would knock them out for 2 weeks. What are you doing up after 2 days? And she's still weak. Like, she can get on her feet and she can walk, but that's about the most of her strength. She can't really do a whole lot after that of just, you know, getting from point A to B, from this room to that room, you know. But the idea that she was able to first do this magic in this room that she was not supposed to be able to do magic in, and then turn around and after 2 days she just wakes up and she's at the very least walking around. She's tired, but she's walking around, tells me that she has a power that most sorcerers and sorceresses don't have, which, how do you have a power to defy a god, let alone 2 gods, unless you have some kind of godlike power? And how do you get that godlike power unless one of your parents is a god? That's my thoughts on Sapphora. I would absolutely 100% recommend this book. The cliffhanger, I hate cliffhangers, and there's like 4 more books to this, and I don't think they're even written yet. I think one of them, the next one isn't even due out until this December. And that makes me more angry than the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger. I need the next book. I need it now. Indie Testa, get on it. Also, one more thing. If you think the artwork on the cover is beautiful, it's nothing compared to the artwork inside. And it comes with a map, and there's artwork throughout the entire book. It is absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Sapphora Shards of Secrecy. Definitely go buy this book. It's available on Amazon.com. I will post a link in the comment section, or in the description below. I will link where you can buy this book. I'll also put links for my own books, the Tawny Dallas series, which is a Disney meets Goosebumps vibe. And if you would like to have your book considered for review on this channel, send it to Jill Miller at P.O. Box 40, Limestone, Tennessee 37681. The address for that will be in the description as well. So, other than that, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.